Serie, our world.
Been a while, I think, since we last did an episode, but
Yeah.
there's been an international break, so yeah, there's been a bit of a gap on top of all that, but here we are.
Mm.
Think we should really dig straight into that game, the Italy Germany
Yeah.
two fixtures there. What do you think?
Well,
How
we
do you
have to,
feel?
don't we? We have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not. I'm not happy about it at all. Of course. Um, Anyone who is just looking at that second half and then getting all excited and stuff needs to realise they had 2 games to do that, not just a half or a quarter of the whole tie, should we say? Um, I wasn't as excited as the commentator was in the first game, and it just feels like they gave the Germans most of the goals. Like they gave him to them, like literally, including that one that like I don't know if it has, but I can guess it has gone viral with how ridiculous it was. Probably the most embarrassing thing in football I've ever seen, I would say. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. Like, we were talking while it was on, and I said to you the minimum is getting for me, would have been to get that to extra time for them to redeem themselves. Um, you can say whatever about penalties and things like that. It doesn't matter. In the end of the day, for 3/4 of the tie, they didn't do what they did in that fourth one, and that was too little, too late in the end. Isn't it?
It was, yeah, it was. I agree exactly with that. Goals given away cheaply, and as you say, absolutely absurd goals. Um, could have done without. Then yeah, that as you mentioned, this comeback,
Mm.
that yeah, it was good. It was, but I can't let that cloud the judgment of the whole fixture, like the
Yeah,
two
exactly,
games.
exactly.
Yeah, and I wasn't happy with Spalletti's answer to that either after, where he just said, "Oh, I picked the wrong lineup, and
Mm.
that's why." It's like, mate, you should know the players by now, and the ones that you need, and the ones that are good, and start with
Um,
those. It does
yeah,
not need this to happen, and then at half time for him to have to start
uh,
kicking off and
yeah. As I said,
switching.
it was like in the getting an early goal from before. Like it was like we've got the goal. Now let's just counter attack or whatever. And it's just like, why, if you've got something that's worked, especially straight away, why are you not trying to force that and keep going, keep attacking, keep going for it? Do you know what I mean? I don't know. It's the team, there's so much quality in the team and even out of the squad as well, that the ones in the team should not be thinking, and all right, this is easy. This is my spot. I'm hoping Spalletti's not given any reassurances to anyone about keeping their spots. Do you know what I mean? It's people need to be picked on form, and when they all get together in a group like that, they represent our league as well. And I think it's just they embarrassed it to a point. That final part saved a little grace, and probably, and from a viewpoint, it won't embarrass them as much, but it's still, for me, wasn't good enough. Wasn't good enough. They showed in just that last bit what Serie and Italy are capable of, but not what they don't do it consistently enough, and that's the problem. So yeah, I don't know what else you
Yeah.
want to say about that.
No, I think that pretty much sums it up. It was a disappointment. We were expecting more, and I'm glad that I didn't go in the end, especially to that first leg, which I was due to, or trying to go to and thinking
Hmm.
about it and whatever. So yeah, less said about all of that, the better. And yeah, as you said just there, let's hope that he's not given any assurances to players because we've got important competitions and games coming up for Italy, and they need to have the best people on the pitch and be qualifying top. They need to be going into 2026 strong, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, I really hope that these players start picking up both clubs and countries
Yeah,
and just get that consistency going. There's so much potential in there. Like I'm not doubting the abilities of the players. I'm just doubting the heart that they're showing with it. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I guess that's that subject. But I
Hmm.
guess the good thing we did, and we can carry this from the last set of Serie A games into what we just saw for Italy and going forward. Moise
Mm.
Kean is the man, at least we know.
Yeah,
Um, so
he's.
yeah,
I'm glad. I'm
let's
really
see.
glad
Yeah,
he's getting his
I mean,
potential that we for how many years we thought, and there was a what at first seemed like a thing that we might have another Balotelli type situation, weren't it? It was looking like that. In the sense, as everyone always says, he's a really good player, but he could have been much. He could have seen and been much better. But it's his life, isn't it? In the end of the day, and he's made enough money from it, and he's probably still raking it in from it. So does it matter? But from a personal point of view, I mean, but from a fan's point of view, you don't want to see someone, especially when it's for your country, who could play for your country and actually has the potential to make a difference for your country. You don't want to see them not performing. But I'm really glad this season Keane's proper shown that some of that, quite a bit of that potential actually that we saw in him when he was younger and coming through the ranks and stuff.
yeah.
So I'm
So we've
hoping
got
he's going to be consistent next season and season after that. And do you know what I mean? From now on, just consistent and
yeah,
don't
we've
just go
got
to a team
him.
for the money like Juve.
Well, you never know with this guy, but
Mm.
let's see. I mean, he's
No, but I'm just
unfortunately a
saying because
club
of
that
the
does
where he
get
is.
raided, doesn't he? So
Yeah.
it's yeah, I mean, he's already done the usual route that could be taken. Best player at Fiorentina
Mm.
goes to Juventus, but I guess he's already been there, so
Yeah,
um,
but that's
we
where.
can rule that one out, hopefully.
But that's what I was just saying. Like I think if something's going right, and I think most teams and including managers, and I would shine a light now on the old Bologna situation that when you've got something good going, I don't understand for in football terms. Again, I would be if whether I was the manager or the other players, like let's try and build on this next season. Let's go for the Champions League next season or together. Like, do you know what I mean? But instead, all that happens, especially when it comes to teams where they're not seen as big. They're just coming into the competition for the first time. Whether it's Atalanta, whether it's Bologna, people try and pick off their players, don't they? I think Atalanta did well on keeping the ones they wanted, but Bologna, they everyone thought that's it. They've done it. They've ruined it, but they've actually played well this season. Um, so I'm saying like Keane, if he's doing this, he should be at Fjord next season, not looking to go somewhere else, because he could end up then going to a so-called bigger team, not doing as well as this season, and then he's going backwards again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, he's got probably what I would call one of the key games of the weekend.
Mm.
Prime to prime striker to try and score in that game against Atalanta. But yeah, so we've got starting from Saturday. I don't
Mm.
think there's a Friday game this
No, I
time.
think it's just yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, so there's various games that kick off. Do you see any that you'll be eager to watch?
I don't have the list in front of me. You'd have to
I can
remind me.
tell you some. So it starts off on Saturday, Venezia, Bologna, Como,
Hmm.
Empoli. Saturday still is Juventus, Genoa,
Yeah.
Lecce, Roma in the evening, and then
Hmm.
Sunday would be Cagliari, Monza, Fiorentina, Atalanta, Inter
Mm.
Udinese, Napoli, Milan in the evening, and then Monday has Verona, Parma, and Lazio, Torino. So
Yeah.
yeah, some key ones there.
Yeah. And I mean, for example, I think even that Como Empoli could be a goal fest potentially as well. I think that'll be quite an open game. Um, No, without stating the obvious ones, obviously like Fiorentina, Atalanta, and the Milan Napoli game. Lazio, Torino also could be a good one. I mean, all of them. I'm just glad Serie A's back and we can watch it.
Yeah, same here. And as always, when there's a manager change, I'm interested to see the Juventus Genoa. What will Tudor do with these boys?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, what do you think about Motta on hindsight? Do you think it was a good move for him? Do you think
Well,
they were
as
too
as I was
hasty?
as I was
Yeah.
saying earlier, with the Kean situation, like Motta should have, from my point of view, and I was saying it last season, just he should have stuck there for at least one more season. Same with Xerxes and Calafiori. I think if they tried to keep the core of their team together from last season, they could have been even stronger than they are this. I mean, they've shown or they've coped without him. So from that point of view, Motta has made a mistake, a big one. He's done well with the smaller clubs, but now it's like a bigger club. Can he cope? Can he do it? Like, what's going to happen? Is he going to? Is it just because he's now been Juventus manager that the bigger teams are still going to go for him, or are they actually going to look at it and say, "But he's done not much with them"? Do you know what I mean? And then he's kept his top goal scorer on the bench, for example, stuff like that. It makes no sense. So, would he be well enough viewed this season as someone that a big team would want? I don't know. What do you think?
I feel he should. Yeah, I think he wasn't ready for a club like Juventus. I think he had at least one more season at Bologna. He was being talked about a lot even before that, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah, with Genoa and
In
stuff.
terms
Yeah,
of that, he's an up and coming manager, lots of promise, keep eyes
yeah,
on him, that kind of thing. But I think, yeah, it just happened too quick,
mm,
that switch over. And, I mean, that club did get raided as well, Bologna. It was going to,
yeah.
whether he stayed or not. So there is that, like, how would he have done in the face of that? But yeah, I just think he should not have moved.
Mm.
Um, he needs to. Yeah, I don't know what will become of him now. What kind of club he's going to be managing next? But I'm guessing nothing until the end of the season now, and yeah, we'll see who he goes to next. Whether he stays in Italy or goes abroad, and has a second chance. Whoever wants to give him that. But yeah, I think the Tudor thing until Man is this. So this is until the end of the season, is it, or is it until Mancini
From
realizes what he
what
wants?
I saw read, it was a short-term contract, but if he qualifies for the Champions League, then there's that thing that possibility they'll extend it. So, I, from what I gather, he's working for his job,
Okay,
if that makes
well,
sense. Do you know what I mean?
oh,
To
so
have it,
Mancini's actually not really a real thing.
I think he's been told. I think Tudor's been told if you don't get Champions League, Mancini's coming in, and that's whether Mancini's willing to wait. I mean, why wouldn't he? Really, if he's been prompt, because if he's even given his word to them, then he must been already told that they've got quite a bit of money to spend next season or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, because
Um,
it was funny because just before Tudor joined, the news it was okay, Mancini's coming, and
mm,
that's who's coming up. Pretty much everywhere you looked, and then it said okay, Tudor's in just until they negotiate with Mancini about
mm,
his contract length, and then now it's just turned to yeah, Tudor's there.
yeah,
Mancini may or
I'll
may
say, but
never join.
he's
So
still got a difficult task to do. So it's not. Who knows? Who knows what? You never know what's going to happen. I mean, it's if another manager's sacked, for example, then they might want them instead. Do you know what I mean? Who knows?
yeah, well, let's see. Yeah, let's see. I'm interested to see what different what can he do with Juve that's different to what Motta was doing. That's the thing, and I
But
mean, is it too
it's
late?
also whether they were playing for him or not. Because if they were doing the old "we're not playing for him," and then all of a sudden they start playing very well, then you've got to question the players' loyalties and stuff as well, isn't it? To the club, I would say. Not to. It doesn't matter if the manager. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Let's see where he takes them. I'm interested in that game. Interested in the Napoli Milan game too. Like I said to you before, managerial changes. Conte Sal's been in the role for a while, but they're already talking about him being on thin ice,
Yeah.
pissing off players. The approach is too tough and direct.
Yeah.
But he's on a 6-month deal anyway, right?
I think it's some like Fonseca's, wherever within the first 6 months they can, I think, cancel his contract with no compensation or something like that.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
That's interesting. So I wonder how it will go with Napoli's bad form of late. Will Milan do a favour to Atalanta and Inter, or I mean, Milan can still potentially get into Europe themselves as well, right? They can get that fourth spot.
Well, it seems to be slipping away slowly. I mean, mathematically, yes, but the way they play, it's not been. As I say, they seem to play in spurts, and that's about it. But those spurts are very rare as well, so they've not been playing well.
Yeah. But two great games to watch there, and obviously the Fiorentina one. So, yeah, that's a Sunday. Fiorentina, Atalanta, Napoli, Milan. That will be on the Sunday, and then the Juve game will be on Saturday. The one we just talked about, Como Empoli as well. Let's see how they all go. I don't have anything else to add here, unless you do.
No, I'm all good. Just looking forward to the action. That's it.
Yeah. Roll on Saturday.
Cool. All right. I will see you later.
See you.